Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. A perfectly balanced personality, today we have to see this. When we are at the periphery, the impact is more. For example, if you are sitting in that giant wheel, you are at the parighi, circumference. And when it moves, and when your container comes down, that time what happens inside the stomach? Oh, because you are at the periphery, circumference. Now you start migrating from the circumference, come towards the center. As you start coming towards the center, the impact of the movement starts reducing. Right? And when you are exactly on the center point, the pivot, which does not move, but which supports all the movement of that wheel, when you come to that center which does not move, do you have the impact of the movement of the wheel? See? And if we want to maintain the balance, perfect balance, by remaining at the periphery, the people at the end, are you able to hear me? No? But how did you hear me when I asked you this? There is a limit. जरा और आवाज बड़ा करो महाराज, वहां से, यहाँ का ऑन ही है कि मेरे अंदर डालोगे क्या? Now can you hear? हाँ. So when we are living at the periphery on the circumference, and there we want to maintain the balance, we will always fail. Because sometime going up, sometime coming down, sometime going up, sometime coming down. See? Then what is the way that we can attain perfect balance in life? The only way, without any option, without any alternative, that leave the periphery and start migrating towards the center. See? When we leave the periphery of our personality and start migrating towards the center around which the personality is developed, then alone there is a possibility of perfect balance. See? Now our struggle is like this. Once I was in Goa and with my friends we went for boating. And after that the boat was kept in the waters and we came and we were sitting or standing on the beach and the boat was oscillating, moving because of the waters. So I was also doing like this. Swamiji, what happened to you? I said, see, the boat is moving, but the boat is moving, why are you moving? Oh, I forgot that I have got out of the boat. See? In the same manner, we want to attain perfect balance. And all the time worried. If you want to get freedom from worries in your life, leave Gujarat, go to Bihar. Do you know why? In Gujarat, people are worried. In Bihar, people are buried. Because they say for b. Don't be buried. See? So we keep identified with our body, we keep identified with our prana, with our mind and the modification, and we want to attain perfect balance. It can never, never, never happen. So there are two techniques to migrate to the center. One technique is the technique of giving up everything. Second is the technique of accepting everything. See, our condition is something we accept, something we reject. No, either accept fully or reject fully. See, then we are always in the center. And when the center is recognized erroneously, then we start creating circles around each center. But the real center is the one which is everywhere, but which has no circumference anywhere. See? What could be that circle? Think. Take a center point and radius is, let us say, unit 1, R1, and draw a circle. Then keep the same point, increase the radius, R2, and draw another circle. Then take the third radius, R3, the same center, draw the third circle. Go on adding circles to the same center. Is it a burden on the center? Think. And the last radius is the R5. Now, which are those 5 radius? Radii rather, no? Radius is singular, plural will be radii. No? So, the first radius is our gross body. The second radius is our pranamaya kosha. The third is the manomaya. The fourth is the vijnanamaya. The fifth is the anandamaya. These are the 5 circles, all of them are supported by a center. See? So whether the gross body is supported by the center or the pranamaya kosha, etc., the center remains uninfluenced. There cannot be a circle without a center, but a center can exist independent of the circumference, is it not? Think, friends. It is only the center which can have perfect balance. See? This is what we told you. The path and the goal is one and the same. There is no different path. There is no different goal. To understand this, take a simple example. A child wakes up at night. A boy, 5 years, 6 years. And he is all the time a great fan of Spider-Man, all the time living in that illusion. And at night he wakes up, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and he has to go to bathroom. Mummy, I have to go to bathroom. Then go. No, I am afraid. Spider-Man will come. See? And that time, mummy becomes most courageous person. She walks in the dark rooms. Go, I am standing here. Mummy, don't go. Keep on talking something. And he does his Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Now, for that child, going from his room to the bathroom was a journey from one destination to another destination, is it not? But for the mother, the house was the path and the house was the destination. There was no difference for the mother, is it not? In the same manner, the path of knowledge tells us, you are the means, you are the goal. It is only the mistaken identity because we are lost at the periphery of our personality. And therefore, there cannot be perfect balance unless we migrate from the periphery to the center. It is for this purpose we have to have a clear understanding about our personality if we want to attain a perfect balanced personality. See, friends, there was one child, he came from the school and asked his mother, who was a doctor by profession, Mummy, do you know what the teacher told us today? No, I don't know, darling. What? See, they taught us human body. Oh God, you learned? Yes. Do you know? Yes, I know. I am a doctor. Tell me what you know. Oh, there is physiological systems like, the digestive system, blood circulatory system, and the bones and the muscles. And Mummy, what Papa tells about you is right. You are dumb. See? Why? Human body means it has got a head, 2 hands, 2 legs, and 1 stomach. Did you tell this? See, in the same manner, personality, MBA, engineer, doctor, successful, husband, wife. This is what we understand by personality. See, personality is not this. Get this point very clear. See, friends, therefore, to attain the perfect balanced personality, let us dissect our own personality of what we are made. So the first thing where we are caught up in our life, for the whole life, is the gross body. Now to get out of the gross body, we don't have to die. See, one man frustrated went to commit suicide on the top of a mountain, and he saw around, there was one Babaji. Babajis are always sitting in a wrong place. So he went to take the blessing from the Babaji. Babaji, I want to commit suicide, please bless me. So the Babaji said, don't run after death. She will find you wherever you are. See? You don't have to run after death. Whether we have a desire to live long or we have a desire to kill ourselves, both are the expressions of the same illusion that the body I am. See? And remaining as a body and trying to attain perfection, you may spend any amount. First you spend lot of money to put on weight, and then spend equally double money to reduce the weight. But the body will keep you waiting. Therefore, This body, let us try to analyze. What is the position of the body? Now this, what I am going to tell you, just don't brush it as a joke, but we have to work on it. If we don't work on this knowledge, it will become erudition and scholarship. Wherever there is erudition and scholarship, there we become philosophers. And philosopher is the one who is silently miserable inside. See, friends. Now take our body. Our body is not created by us. Point number one. Agree or not agree? नहीं बाबा, अपन ने तो अपनी बॉडी खुद ही से बनाई है. See? Our body is not created by us. Agreed? Those people who created our body, they are called as parents technically. Second thing, this body does not listen to us. See, you must have seen many people. They want to reduce the weight because they are round figures. And there are other types of people. They want to put on the weight because they are Agarbatti brand. Now this Agarbatti brand fellow eats the whole buffalo intact, yet continues to be Agarbatti. And the other fellow looks at the Amul butter advertisement and puts on 3 kilos of weight. Pata nahi kya ho gaya. See? So the body is neither created by us, nor the body ever listened to us. And yet, I am the body. Be very attentive. Nobody has ever said this statement, I am the body. But everybody lives their life with the conviction that I am the body. See? Like in Hindi, there is a gender difference with the verbs. If I had to say, मैं जा रही हूं, so you will laugh at me, isn't it? In Bombay, this happens among Gujaratis. You know, the servants, etc., they talk Marathi. So they talk Marathi of the ladies. Now, Gujarati do not know the difference between the Marathi lady and gents Marathi. So the lady says to the boss, "Mi yete," that means I'll come. Now this Gujarati, he also says, you know, "Swamiji, tumi yete ka?" It sounds so funny. See, friends. So when I say कि मैं जा रहा हूं, why do I say मैं जा रहा हूं? Why don't I say मैं जा रही हूं? Because I am fully convinced that I am a man, not a woman. Unless this conviction is corrected, there is no possibility of attaining perfect balance in life. See, friends, our whole life is only figure-oriented. Figure ki hi fikar hai. Like I go to so many places and then the people say, "Swamiji, you don't take sweets, you don't take this." But why? So I had to tell them, because figure ki fikar hai. "Swamiji, aapko kya farak padta hai figure se?" One budhao told me. I said, "Amma, तुम्हारी शादी हो गई है ना?" "Swamiji, मेरे पोते हैं." So then you don't have the figure. मेरी कहाँ शादी हुई? I have to maintain my figure. See? So our whole life is lived by the body, for the body, on the body, because we have a mistaken identity that I am the body. Then what is to be done? Keep the body perfect condition and use the body. The body is not meant only for maintenance. What for healthy body? On the contrary, if we have got some unhealthy conditions in the body, there is a likelihood of dispassion towards the body. Those people who have never fallen ill in their life, in their old age, if they get a temperature by 0.1 degree more, they take the whole house on their head. They can't stand little bit of difficulties. See? Because whole life they have been living only as body, body, body. So how do we get out of this first circumference where we are at the periphery of our personality and constantly tossing and losing the balance of our life? There is only one way. And that one way is keep yourself healthy in such a manner that you are able to serve the society. When you serve others, you have to rise above your body identification. See, today I was with some doctor and he was telling me his story. He said, Swamiji, I don't believe in gods and all kinds of things. So my friend told me, why don't you come here once, twice, thrice, 10 times he was telling me. Finally, I said, okay, Baba, I'll come once. And I went there. And I saw hundreds of people are treated by the doctors free, and all the people who are accompanying the patients, they are given free food with all respect and reverence. He said, there cannot be a better platform wherein you can serve the society. Friends, if you want to serve the world, you have to rise above your personal comforts. It is totally different than representing a Lions Club. Lions Club is based on the photography. See, friends, their service is business oriented. It is only getting more contacts. But here when you go and see, he said, I was so thrilled. Nobody knows anybody. Everybody is merely sincerely serving. Then alone we rise above our body identification. This is the ultimate in yoga. Yoga is not twisting the body. Bhagavan Krishna says in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Atmaupamena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. He who is able to recognize the problems of others and thereby extending a helping hand voluntarily, he is a real yogi. See? And when it can happen? There also Bhagavan says, before this particular verse, Sarvabhutasthamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. He is able to cognize his presence in others and he is able to include all of them in him. He alone can serve with pure love without any expectation. See? So important. Therefore, friends, this periphery where we are living, how long are we going to talk only about the body? To get out of the problems of the body, let us engage this body for serving somebody or the other. In Bhagavad Gita, the tapasya at the level of the body, mind and speech is spoken of. So what is the tapasya or the austerities at the level of the body in the 17th chapter? There the teacher says, Deva Dvijaguru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharya Ahimsa cha Shariram Tapauchyate. See? When we are respecting and recognizing everybody with that attitude, all our laziness goes away. See, suppose you are sitting like this in your room and suddenly your father or somebody comes whom you respect. That is the most important. The moment someone whom you respect comes immediately, we don't say, "Arey yaar, baithne kya farak padta hai?" All the laziness disappears when you live in this world in a reverential attitude towards all. Friends, when we give respect to anybody, that body is not benefited. We go to Ambaji. Last time I went to Ambaji. Now, when you go to Ambaji, she is not benefited. It is we who are benefited. Because we are giving respect and reverence. And therefore, the real personality is not remaining bound in the cage of body identification. So the balance of our personality is gained when we rise above individuality and merge with the totality. And the only way to merge with the totality is only through service. See, yad yad karma karomi tattad akhilam shambho tavaradhana. Then it becomes a first step towards the center. You will understand slowly how we reach the center, that center which is everywhere but which has no circumference anywhere. That center we are. That is the goal. Presently our center is only here. Before marriage, I. After marriage, me and my wife. After that, the first calendar comes out. Me, my wife and my child. My child is so sweet, Swamiji. Whenever these new mothers come, I feel like, teasing them. One day I was in the teasing mood. So, that lady came. Swamiji, don't you see my child is so sweet? I said, बचपन में गधे का बच्चा भी बड़ा सुंदर दिखता है. What do you mean? I said, for me, every child is same. See, how much we get involved with ours with the same intensity. If we can love the whole world, we have broken, smashed, destroyed the barrier of our merging in the totality. See, friends, and this begins from the body with an attitude of service. And when we serve, the world does not need our service. This is one of the fundamentals of life. Whatever we are doing, the world does not need us. Many of us have got this funny notion that the children are, they need us. They don't need, they are fed up of us. On the contrary. Mummy, tum jao na. See? But we feel, without me, how the child will grow? Because every morning I get up and put the air in the pump, then the child grows like this thing. With this attitude, live in the world, you are breaking the barrier of the fifth kosha, the Annamaya kosha or the gross body. Then we come to the second. The second periphery, but nearer to the center, is the Pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha has got two things. One is hunger and thirst. When we are able to conquer hunger and thirst, then we can never be enslaved by anybody in this world. One day one person asked me this question. Swamiji, you don't have anything aga picha, why are you running so many places? I said, I wish I had one yoga siddhi, that I don't have hunger and thirst. Then I will not go anywhere. Papi pet ke liye bolna padta hai. Who will give me food if I don't talk? So, rising above the Pranamaya kosha is possible when we remain disciplined in our lifestyle. See, our mothers, Indian mothers' love is the child should eat food. There also, their love is whatever the child wants to eat, you give. So right from the morning, the child is grazing like a goat. And then at the lunch time, beta khana khao, mama, I don't know, no, you have to eat food, you will become strong. Now that child doesn't have hunger. How can he eat? Therefore, simple technique, always take that much food so that your hunger is not satiated. Keep your hunger fire all the time burning. You know, in their Yajna Kunda, when they offer the ahuti, how they offer? They don't put in such a manner that the fire dies away. They have to offer so that the fire is kept alive. Then we, with the discipline of the food habits, we slowly migrate to the center. So, Annamaya Kosh we discarded, Pranamaya Kosh we discarded. Now we come to the third. And the third is Manomaya Kosh. Now, regarding the Pranamaya Kosh, I will give you one simple technique. And that technique is, always observe what is the condition of your body and mind after you have taken food. This is one very simple technique. You know, this is what has helped me in my life. I move so many places. Like I used to have earlier terrible migraines. And one day it so happened that I had to take no rice for whatever reason. Next morning when I got up, I was feeling very light and very comfortable. Then that was one observation. Then second observation. When I take a particular type of food, then I again get constipation and uncomfortable feeling. The third thing, when I go to some places where the mind is not naturally going, if I compel myself to go, something wrong goes out there. So when these observations you collect, and on the basis of that observation, eat only that which keeps you fit and healthy. Don't bother for anything. See? नहीं उन्होंने कहा है कि लड्डू खाओ खाओ अब तो उठा ही नहीं जाता. Have control. Now we come to the mind, the third aspect of our personality. The third aspect is the mind. And what is this mind? Mind is a means of communication. Our body is like a house. The Pranamaya Kosha is like the power supply. The mind is like the means of communication. You have got phone, then you have got email. You know email, emotional blackmail, is only at the mental level. So through that mind we come in contact with the whole world. Now it is here our real examination begins. Emotions are beautiful in life, but emotionalism is the scar on our personality. We should never be emotional. When we become emotional, we suffer and we make others suffer. See, I remember I went somewhere, I will not tell you the place. One elderly person, very nice, but so much emotional, I was feeling so disgusted with him. So, when I found that, it is very difficult to live with this person, every now and then, live yourself normally. Respect doesn't mean to make others feel miserable. See, suppose I am taking food. He will come, elderly man, elder than me, he will come and stand there with the hands as if. I said, Papa, बैठो. नहीं, हाँ बैठो. You can go through the experience, then you will understand. Somebody is constantly watching you. See? It is such a disgusting experience. And then you take the chapati and, make a spoon out of the chapati and collect everything. This is how I eat. Start from the right end, collect everything. Ultimately, you come into the dal, dip it and take and eat. And when I do like this, his mouth becomes ah. And when his mouth becomes ah, I put it down. So I told him, I said, Papa, either you sit or you go. I don't want you to stand here. He went. And thereafter, 2 days I had to suffer. I don't know, Swamiji, what wrong I have done. I said, except eating my leftover head, you have done everything. See, such people, they become a burden to themselves and to others. See, love we must everybody. But love doesn't mean our love is, like what? One Sindhi gentleman in Bombay, it happened. That day I told him that I will come to your house, but on one condition. I won't take even a glass of water. Because since morning I will always, I would have finished 5 places, lunch or breakfast, whatever you say. Okay. And then I went to his house at 1 o'clock. From 6 to 1, I have eaten 5 times. Little. It is not a dabba. You can go on putting the things. Sir, how are you? A big table. Sindhis are very good in hospitality. So, my English is poor. What can I do? So, he has put a very big table and lot of dishes. Swamiji, please eat something. I said, I told you I will not eat anything. If I eat, I will die. Never mind, Swamiji, eat something. Now, is this love? You know what is our love? Our love is imposition of our views on others. See? Like, I had to take food in so many houses. Now, the people think that I don't know how to eat. Because I am eating for the first time in my life. Like छोटे बच्चों को खिलाते ना, स्वामी जी ये जो ढोकला है ना, इसको उस मिर्ची के साथ खाओ. I said, no, I'll take dhokla, eat with Srikhand. Let me have little, that much freedom. See, Swamiji, you got annoyed? I said, no, I am enjoying the fun, not annoyed. Therefore, let us not impose our views on anybody and make a sentimental issue out of it. Such people are chui mui. You know chui mui? Touch me not. Something you say, immediately Ganga, Yamuna, and if it is a modern model, then Saraswati. Therefore, Manomaya Kosh is the seat where emotions are born, and these emotions, when they are not understood properly, we get caught up in them, and our whole life becomes a mess. See? We slowly come out of this mind's emotional catch. The second aspect of the mind is able to perceive the experiences of joy and sorrow. When we are experiencing joy and sorrow, this is one story. And when we become joyful and sorrowful, it is another story. To have miseries in life and to be miserable in life, these are two different issues. We have a freedom, whether we are miserable or not. You must have seen when you go through immigration, that is my regular business. So, particularly USA, such dumb questions you will never get anywhere in the world. The questions are you a member of active terrorist association? Yes, no. No, who is going to write yes? Do you have any criminal cases pending against you? Yes, no. And if the answer to any one of these yes, go back. In the same manner, when we were pushed in this world, that time we all were given a form. You are entering the most miserable place called as the world. Question: do you want to be miserable in this world? Boxes, yes, no. We did yes. And here we are. You have a choice. See, when miseries come and you cooperate with the miseries, you become miserable. Refuse. See, friends, never talk about your miseries to anybody in life. Never talk. Take a vow to yourself. Whenever you talk about your miseries again and again, even if they are not true, they will start appearing real. Do one experiment. Repeat to yourself, I am the most unlucky one. I am the most unlucky one, for 1 week. You will start seeing yourself really the most unlucky one. Because as you think, so you become. Therefore, the third barrier that is keeping us away from our center, a balance, which gives balance to everything, is this mind. Slowly we come beyond the mind. Now these three places, the body, the prana and the mind, these are the three external ring roads. See? And then we come to the fourth one, called the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and in that Vijnanamaya Kosha, Mr. I is born. See? I. Body is fat. Whose body? My body. I am fat. I am hungry. I am miserable. All these three koshas, they are owned by the fourth one. This is called as Mr. I. Now here we enter a deeper inquiry. If I say a statement, I am old. What is the meaning of I? The body. When I say I am hungry, what is the meaning of I? Prana. When I say I am sentimental, so I means mind. Which is the real I? Sometimes this, sometimes that. Which is the real I? And where the fat man goes when you are in deep sleep? Where the hungry eye goes when you are eaten up to the nose level? Where the Mr. Miserable disappears when you are given a painkiller? Think. So, this Vijnanamaya Kosha has a habit, be very attentive, has a habit to get identified with something which is finite. Every identification is a new birth. When misery comes, we get miserable, we are born as Mr. Miserable. Happiness comes, we get identified, Mr. Happy person is born. Hunger comes, get identified with the hunger, a hungry personality is born. Thus, with every identification with the finite, Mr. Somebody is born. Get identified with your child, a mother or a father is born. Get identified with your wife, a husband is born. Get identified with somebody else's wife, a friend is born. Husband is not born. See, friends, Therefore, what is a birth? Birth is getting identified with something finite. So how do we get out of this fourth circle? Let us not sweat over small little things. All of us are miserable, never because of something great, but something miserable, useless. There are three types of people. Those who are miserable on silly things. In the morning I got up, I never got a cup of tea. I don't know, in this house nobody cares for me. Miserable. Over a cup of tea? What a standard misery. Such people are disgusted, good for nothing. Third class. Now, take example of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He used to also become miserable. When today also the day has gone. I could not talk to the mother. He used to cry. He used to roll on the floor. Crying for something higher is something first class. Two classes, third class and first class. And there is yet third class. What is that class? He who never gets miserable is beyond class. See, friends, therefore, let us not get identified with anything that is finite. See? And how do we do this? This is how the principle of homeopathy works. You know how the principle of homeopathy works? Once I was given something because, I am a universal guinea pig for all the doctors. So I had some problem somewhere. There was a homeopathic person. He said, Swamiji, I'll give you something, it will be all right. So he gave me some savadana khichdi, I ate it. Swamiji, next dose I'll give you after 6 months. So why? It is high potency. I became very, my God, now what is going to happen? High potency, it is already gone in. I said, am I going to float in the air or burst open or what? He said, no. I said, you explain me, what is the meaning of high potency? Then he started explaining. Take medicine, dilute it 100 times. From that dilution, take one part, dilute it 1,000 times. From that dilution, take one part, dilute it 10,000 times. In this manner, when it is diluted number of times, it becomes 1 million potency. And in that 1 million potency, there is medicine which cannot be detected by any chemical process. It is so minimum and it is broken at the atomic level. Oh, then that is why it is very potent. It doesn't work at the surface or the periphery. It goes and hits at the molecular level. I said, hey, you are teaching me something great. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. He said, kya ho gaya, Swamiji? I said, look here. This is exactly the principle of our devotion. When I love only myself, I, it is like a concentrated medicine. Then in that I add the radius of my wife. So there is a small circle created. I is diluted. It is said, before marriage, fulfill your desires of purchasing clothes. After marriage, you have to buy only the saris, nothing else. See? So, I and my wife, so I is diluted 50%. Then the first child, still the I is diluted. Second child, still the I is diluted. Then you include your parents, then your wife's parents. And in this manner, go on increasing the value of R or the radius. What will be the size of the circle? It will go on increasing, bigger and bigger and bigger. Then break the barrier of your family. Let in your circle be included all your people around you in your mohalla, in your vicinity. Then include all the people of Ahmedabad. Then include all the people in Gujarat. Then include all the people in India. See the length of the radius. Include total humanity. Nay, don't exclude the animal kingdom. What is happening? Our I is diluted many million times. See? Then out of Mohandas Karamchand, a Mahatma is born. Mahatma Gandhi did not live for himself. See? Mahatma Gandhi lived not for himself, for everyone. This is the way to attain a perfect balanced personality. Because where the individuality, I, is so much diluted that it has become tremendous potentiality. See? Our ex-Prime Minister, Mr. Vajpayee, when he was not a Prime Minister or any Prime Minister, our present Prime Minister also, when he was not a Prime Minister, just an ordinary citizen of our country, what power he had? Zero power. Now, he is representing the whole nation, so his I includes the whole nation. And therefore, when he says something, it is the voice of country. This dilution of the I is possible only through the process of love and devotion. That love which divides is attachment. That love which unites is wisdom. See, friends, therefore, instead of worshipping this Vijnanamaya Kosha, I, let us understand. Now, I take you one step further. Be very attentive. See, there are 3 stages through which we operate on this I. Now, take this, my favorite example, electricity, bulb and light. Clear? If there are n number of bulbs, so there is a multiplicity. Like here there are a dozen tube lights, so there are many tube lights. But are there many lights? Light is one. So tube light is a vyakti, individuality. Light is a abhivyakti, manifestation. So what we have to do? Get out of the vyakti, the individuality, and come to the second level called as abhivyakti, manifestation. How do we recognize this journey? See? Now see, observe this. I'll give 1 or 2 examples. This example I am giving you from our Shirdi Sai Baba's Pothi. Those who are devotees of him, you will appreciate. In his, last few days, few years maybe, he once told one of his devotees, she came, working in the field, went home, washed herself and came straight away to take darshan. The moment she came, he said, "Hey Amma, I am extremely hungry, please give me food, I am dying of hunger." Even without allowing her to sit, she